Hey guys, Giggity DFS back again with another video. And in this one, we actually are getting the majors back for Csgo. We got a 4-game slate starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. Game at 7 a.m., 9:15 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:15 p.m. Two of these are going to be European games, which are the earlier ones, and two of them will be North American games, will be the last two. So, real quick before we jump into this slate, if you guys have not checked out Tilted DFS, they have spreadsheets and stuff and articles for Counter-Strike, and I got a rat that's running across my keyboard. But they have all a bunch of they're really good spreadsheets and cheat sheets for you. So if you want to go ahead and check them out, link will be in the description below. But let's go ahead and jump into this slate. We got 4-gamer first. You good, Bart? All right, cool. Rat's running around. First game of the day, you got Big and Endpoint. Big is a 1.07. $1 down, I think you get $1.07. They're that big of favorites. And then Endpoint is a 7, which means if you put down $1, you would get $7. So Big are pretty big favorites tomorrow. They're the biggest favorites on the slate. Then the next game you're going to see is Heroic and Mad Lions. Heroic is a 1.35 compared to the Mad Lions, who are 2.95. Essentially, these are minus 135 and plus 2. No, that wouldn't be it. It would probably be vice versa. I don't know. That's the European metrics of it. So put down $1, you win the $1.35 or the $2.95. Next one is Team Liquid and then Z-Pug Gods. This will be the first time we're seeing Z-Pug Gods on a Counter-Strike slate on DraftKings since the quarantine and everything, because I've been playing most every slate. This will be the first time we've seen them. Liquid is a 1.12 favorite compared to the Z-Pug Gods, which are a 5.25. And then the final one is Triumph and Chaos. Chaos is a pretty big favorite at a 1.25 compared to a 3.55. So go ahead and jump into this one. We got all of them up. We'll start off with Big because they're honestly they're going to be the biggest chalk on the slate, and for good reason. Going after Big is going to be probably the best way to go for this slate, especially in cash lineups. You're going to want to get two big players. Searson, Tabson, and Zundaris are going to be your obvious top choices. They're three of the most expensive players on the slate, but getting to them will be a really nice spot to get to. Let's go to Flex Spot, which is going to show you the more accurate prices. Searson at 98, Tabson at 96, Zundaris at 94. If I'm going after two, I like Zundaris and I like Tabson the most out of these two, just because they're a little bit cheaper. They all have about the same KD. Searson's probably just a tad higher than the other ones, but going after Zundaris and Tabson is going to be my choice. If you wanted to go after value, Tizian and Keto are probably not the choices you want to go to, just because they are a little bit more expensive, because they're going up against Endpoint, which Big is a top 5 Counter-Strike team in the world compared to Endpoint, which is, I think, top 50. They're not as good. This one should not be close. This one should be a 2-0 sweep. But if this game does go 3 games, I would not mind getting to a Endpoint player as a value play. Thomas would probably be the only one I would really want to get to, which 6K is actually a pretty decent value on the slate, and he's probably going to be the top fragger for Endpoint. So running 150, if you're running 150 tomorrow, Thomas could be a nice value choice, get to about 30-40%, could be a solid play. I'm not really getting to much more of Endpoint. Robin, Crucial, Mighty Max, Surreal, their KDs are meh, and they're going up against one of the best teams in the world. Don't really see any Endpoint players getting decent scores. Moving over to the Mad Lions and Heroics game. Heroic is favorited, but we'll go over the Mad Lions first. Over the player break, Mad Lions did lose Bubsky. Bubsky is now a part of Astralis. So they are bringing in Innocent, which came from another lower ranked team. So he's going to be making his debut for Mad Lions tomorrow. I'm not really too interested in him. If you're going to anybody from Mad Lions tomorrow, Acorn is probably going to be your best choice, obviously, at $6,400. It's going to be the cheap play. It's going to be the best play for Mad Lions for tomorrow. Shush at 6,200 is probably another good choice if you wanted to get to Mad Lions, if you think they can pull off an upset, which definitely could happen. This is the closest game on the slate, with Mad Lions being a 2.95. So I wouldn't mind getting to some Mad Lions. Definitely a salary relief, and could be a good choice if you wanted to get to it. On the other side, Heroics are the favorites, but they're not huge favorites. I'm actually not really much of a fan for Heroics on the slate. They're a little bit too expensive for me. I would rather be paying up for Big, and I would rather be paying up for Liquid. So I'm not really interested in Stavin, not really interested in Nico or Tessus. I'd rather get to actually Mad Lions in this game than getting to Heroics, just because Valerie's salary saving and just the value of Mad Lions on the slate. Are you going to go down? There you go. But if you wanted to get to Cannon or Borup as a value option per se, that's fine. Any value options are going to be anybody less than 8K, essentially. Moving on to Team Liquid and Zapug Gods. Haven't really seen Zapug Gods. Apparently they have played on DraftKings slates before, because 4 out of the 5 of them do have fantasy points. Which, who did they play against? This one might have been a slate that I missed then. Yeah, all the way in April. So the last time they played was in April. They played against Triumph, and they scored decent. So they could... I mean, Triumph wasn't really that good back then, so it could have been just a nice day for them. I do not see them beating Liquid. And Liquid's probably even stronger than they were when they were doing well before the player break. I do like Liquid a lot in this one. If you're going to one, going to Infinity might not be a bad option. $6,800 as a value play. Other than that, not really too interested in Zapug Gods. On the flip side, you got Team Liquid, which actually did have a roster change. Nitro retired. Okay, don't run across my screen. Keep moving. Nitro retired, and they picked up Grim from Triumph. Oh, Triumph, right? Yeah, they picked up Grim from Triumph. Going after players in this one, Elige and Naf are going to be the two that I would want to get to, and then Twisted. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Grim is going to be the one I have the least interest in. He is the most expensive player on the slate. Not really too fond of that. I'm not really interested in going after him. Is he going to score good? Yes, but I have a feeling that there's going to be plenty of players underneath him that will score better, especially because Elige, Naf, Twist, and 2K have been playing together for years, compared to Grim, who is coming into them. Haven't played a competitive major with them yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how Grim gels with them. Grim's going to be taking over some of the opping duties that Nitro had, some of the secondary opping duties, so not really too interested in going after that one. Final game of the day is Triumph and Chaos. Chaos are going to be the more expensive team on the slate, but we'll go after Triumph first. Curry's not going to be playing, so you're going to see Junior, Penny, Spongy, Sheikh Zula, and Moose. Since we saw Triumph last, they did lose Grim, and they are not having Curry. So Penny and Moose are two new players on Triumph. It's probably why they are such underdogs in this matchup, is because The betting people don't know how this team is actually going to gel together because they haven't played any competitive games together as a 5. Considering that Junior, Spongy, and Shangzula were the only ones that are still on the team or still playing in this one that was in the last time, not really too interested in going after that. So if anything, go after Junior. He's going to be the top fragger on the team. 6K, value play, don't mind it. Other than that, I'd rather get to Chaos. Chaos is a little bit cheaper than we would expect. All of them are 8K or lower. And going after a Triumph team, I honestly don't mind going after Chaos tomorrow as one of my higher teams. Going after Zeppa, Leaf, and Steel, and then Vanity, all of them, they're just too cheap, and I have a feeling that, yes, they're going to be chalky, but I would rather get to a chalky Chaos than chalky Big or Liquid, just because they are cheaper, and you could probably build a better, more balanced team doing that. So if I had to go and rank the teams that I like playing the most, Chaos would probably be number 1. I'm actually a fan. Them going after a team that has not played much together, and they're quite cheap. So going after Chaos could be the leverage spot. And then give me some Mad Lions. I don't mind getting to some Chaos and Mad Lions tomorrow. I feel like that would be a somewhat contrarian stack. Everybody's going to go after Big. Everybody's going to go after Liquid. Even playing a little bit as a Pug Gods could be interesting contrarian play. But I don't think I'm going to take that necessary risk tomorrow. I don't think it's worth it. I'm not playing that big of a GPP. So going after Chaos, going after Mad Lions, and then Big, and scroll my